cash cow. Mama told me she loved me. I look just like my dad now. Might take a trip out to Japan now. 200 in front of the dash now. Design all the way from the chest down. Do it on my own, any handouts. Niggas faking this man down. Hey. Grinding, tryna find me a way out. Hey. Nigga faking his man down. Hey. Grinding, tryna find me a way out. Hey.
Yes, sir. So, recently Joe Biden went down to Mother Emanuel AME Church in South Carolina so he could communicate, pander to the black community and explain to us why he deserves another 4 years. We're going to break down that speech. But first, if you're enjoying the intro music and the outro music, I want to give a quick salute to my boy Dom the Don. He's allowing me to use his music. He's a personal friend of mine. If you like the intro, if you like the outro, be sure to check him out. He's on all major platforms, Apple Music, iTunes, etc., etc. Without further ado, roll the first clip.
On June 17, 2015, the beautiful souls, five survivors, invited a stranger into this church to pray with them. The word of God was pierced by bullets of hate, of rage, propelled by not just gunpowder, but by a poison that has for too long haunted this nation. What is that poison? White supremacy. Oh, it is. It's a poison. Throughout our history, it's ripped this nation apart. It has no place in America. Not today, tomorrow, or ever. From that day, this nation saw this congregation, this community, demonstrate one of the greatest acts of strength I have ever seen. I mean it sincerely from the bottom of the act of forgiveness, the act of grace. It was as President Obama sang from here, Amazing Grace. You changed hearts. You did something that may not have happened but for your courage. You brought down the Confederate flag in South Carolina. You brought it down. No, you did. And you helped the nation heal. You showed what America can overcome, what we can be when we want to be something.
Now, this clip that I just played is one of the highlights of his speech. There's a viral clip going around where protesters shouted Joe Biden down over asking for a ceasefire in Gaza from Israel. And we're going to break down that clip as well. But I wanted to highlight this clip first because, mind you, this is a historically black church that he's speaking to. So the issues that he's speaking on are supposed to be black issues. This section that I just played was the only time he really highlighted a black issue in America, and that is the issue of white supremacy. Now, this church of Emanuel AME was victimized. It's a site that was victimized by one shooter where he went into the church. I think it was Dylan Roof, where he went into the church and shot down 9 different people, right? Despite the fact that the black people here responded, instead of anger, they responded in love. They said, we're going to forgive this shooter before the bodies were even in the ground. These people are talking about, we forgive the shooter. First of all, let me stop here. If I'm ever a victim of white supremacy and I'm getting shot down for no reason at all other than the color of my skin, I don't want to hear people talking about they forgive. That's just me personally. Take it how you want it. If you forgive them, keep that to yourself. Publicly, I don't want to hear you forgive these people that just shot down me or anybody that looks like me just because we're forgiving people. That's just my perspective, but I digress. Regardless, I do like the fact that Joe Biden here is highlighting the fact that their forgiveness and their protests afterwards led to the removal of the Confederate flag in South Carolina. On the other side, Republican Nikki Haley tried to take credit and say that she was responsible for removing the flag, despite the fact that when she was campaigning, she said she would never remove the candidate flag, the Confederate flag under any circumstances. So giving the credit where credit is due is a good thing. However, one thing I didn't like about Joe Biden's speech here is he mentioned no tangibles that the black people could look forward to. He didn't say, as a result of your actions, I'm moving to push for reparations in this next term. I'm moving to push for a new crime bill because, mind you, the George Floyd legislation never passed Congress. No mention of any tangibles in this speech, only the symbolism of removing some flags. That's not enough for me, but I digress. With that being said, let's check out this other clip that's going viral of some protesters telling Joe Biden just where he can stick it.
We shall know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. But the truth is under assault in America. As a consequence, so is our freedom, our democracy, our very country, because without the truth, there's no light. Without light, there's no path from this darkness.
If you really care about the lives lost here, then you should honor the lives lost and call for a ceasefire in Palestine. Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look, folks.
Now, I'm not mad at these people, these protesters, these dissidents for trying to speak up and get a spotlight shown on the issue that they care most about, the issue of Palestine, the issue of Gaza, the bombardment that is happening there in the Middle East. I think that protesters, it's their job to take any opportunity that they can get to raise their voice and get attention for the issues that they feel most passionate about. So I'm not mad at the protesters. However, I do think that it's problematic when Black people, when we speak against any problems as far as the Israelis go, this Israeli regime, things that are going on in the Middle East, we are quickly made an example of. For example, Dr. Claudine Gay, the president or ex-president of Harvard, the way they did her, the way they did Kyrie Irving, when he said the Black people are the true Hebrew Israelites. We can take something extreme like Kanye West, take it or leave it. Think about the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, who currently has a lawsuit against the ADL pending. Every time we have a prominent voice who speaks against the people, the Israelis in power, we are quickly made an example out of. Kanye West lost over $1 billion for saying some crazy stuff. Now, he's an extreme example, but Dr. Claudine Gay, she didn't say anything that extreme. She was fired from her job for not saying something, for not speaking in support of Israel. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. No matter what you say on this issue as a Black person, there's going to be people upset with you. So as a collective, we have largely decided, hey, we're going to sit this one out. We want to play this one neutral. We're on neither the Palestinian side or the Jewish or the Israeli side. Just leave us out of it. We have enough issues of our own. But even when we have an opportunity to have the president come and pander or speak to us, he's supposed to be speaking to our needs. Even then, our perspectives, our needs get neglected and overshadowed by the needs of others. And this is something that I do have a bit of a problem with. It's bad enough that Black people can't seem to get any tangibles from this United States government. It's bad enough we see millions, tens of millions of dollars going to illegal immigrants here in Chicago, in New York. We have just recently, just today, they took 2,000 refugees or refugee asylum seekers and put them in a high school in New York, a Brooklyn high school. Now, all of those students who were supposed to be going to school have been kicked out and they're forced to go to school remotely. Think about the students who are seniors, what they've been through the past few years. They went through COVID. They had to go remotely. They finally get back from COVID. It's their senior year. And now they get kicked out of their school again for asylum seekers. Black Americans are repeatedly, systematically, and consistently just shoved aside. Our needs are just neglected. We get no tangibles from this government. And that's something that I would like to see a change for. Again, I'm not mad at the protesters who are pushing their issues, because that's what I'm doing here. I'm pushing my issues. I'm pushing my perspective. But I think that we as black people need to speak more proudly, more prominently, and say it with your chest. These are the things we need. These are the tangibles we're looking for, and we're not ready to settle for anything less. But hey, that's just what I think. If you've made it this far in the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I'm sure if you're already subscribed, you're already a big supporter. But if you're new to the channel, do me a personal favor and smash the subscribe button. Keeps me motivated to keep making videos just like this. Be sure to stick around for a few more minutes to check out the bonus footage as always. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.
We're not perfect, but at our best, we learn from our past and we look to the future. A nation continuously striving to be a more perfect union. I'm here to speak to another truth. It's because of this congregation and the black community of South Carolina, and not an exaggeration, than Jim Clyburn, that I stand here today as your president, because of all of you. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I owe you. And I've done my best to honor your trust.
I done ran up all these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. I done ran up all these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. It ain't no stopping me. Got bands, I'ma run it up, it ain't no stopping me.